Hello and welcome to this tutorial. So for today's tutorial we are going to be making a bolero or a shrug or a summer mesh top, anything you want to call it, but that's what we are going to be making today. So we are going to be using this color of yarn, and then we'll be using our scissors. I'm going to be using a size 1mm hook for this project because the yarn I'm using is very tiny. It's like a finger yarn. Then we also need our yarn needle, of course, and then some stitch markers. So that's all we're going to be needing. So let's get into the tutorial. Okay, so for this tutorial we are going to be making a front and a back panel. Okay, then we'll attach it and then make the sleeves. Okay, so we'll be needing for this bolero. So you just measure your chest area, around your chest area, that is the place above your bust. Okay, you measure around it and note the measurements. Okay, so for me it is a 33 inches. Okay, it is 33 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and add 3 more inches. I'm doing this because I don't want it to be so tight on me. So it is 33, so I'm going to add 3 more inches, making it 36 inches. So when I'm done doing that, I'm going to divide the 36 into 2 because we'll be making a front and a back panel. Okay, so when you divide it by 2, you're going to have, for the size I'm working on, is 18. So you measure around your chest area, you note the measurements, then you add 3 inches to it. If you want it to be tight, you can work with the actual measurement, but if not, you just add 3 more inches and then you divide it by 2, which is going to be for the front and the back panel. Okay, so for this size I'm going to be having 18 for the front panel, 18 for the back panel. Okay, so once you have that, you're going to take your yarn and you're going to make a slip knot. All right, make a slip knot like so and pull that tail. So now we have our slip knot. So we're just going to make a chain that will be long enough that when you stretch it, it is going to be 18 inches. Okay, so you just keep making your chain like this, and then until when you stretch the chain like this, it should give you 18 inches. So now I have my chain. Okay, you can see this is the chain. You lay your tape flat like this. All right, when you lay your tape very flat, you want to take that chain and place it on top of the edge, and then you want to stretch the chain. Okay, you want to hold it tight here, hold it really tight, and then make sure your tape is laying flat. Then you want to stretch that chain, stretch it as much as you can. Okay, so as you can see, this one has stretched to 18 inches. Okay, I don't know if you can see, this is 18 inches now. So that is what you want to do. You want to make sure that your measurement, you are going to be stretching the chain for you to measure it. So once you're done with that, the next thing you want to do is to start working our stitches. So for this shrug, we are going to be making use of a treble crochet. Okay, so because we're making use of a treble crochet, we're going to chain extra 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, and then you want to yarn over, skip that first 4 stitches and then insert on the 5th chain. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is my 5th chain. You insert your hook. So you want to yarn over twice. So because it's a treble crochet, yarn over twice, insert on the 5th chain from your hook. All right, pull through the first 2, pull through the second 2, and then the last 2. So that will be our first stitch. Okay, so you want to chain 3. All right, and then you're going to skip 3 chains. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3, and then on the 4th chain you're going to place another treble crochet. Remember to always yarn over twice, and then insert your hook and make your treble crochet like so. Okay, yarn over twice. On the next stitch, make another treble crochet like so. So you can see we have 2 at the beginning, chain 3, 2. So we are going to chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, yarn over twice, then skip the next 3 chains, and then on the 4th chain insert and make your treble crochet. Okay, so we just keep repeating this process. On the next stitch you place another treble crochet. Okay, so this is what it's looking like right now. So we just keep repeating this. Chain 3, make 2 treble crochet, chain 3, make 2 treble crochet, like that until we work our way to the end of the chain. Okay, so I've worked. Okay, I'm almost at the end of this chain. Okay, as you can see, I have about 2 chain stitches left. Okay, so when you have a case like this, you just repeat the same thing and place your 2 treble crochet on that very last stitch here. All right, so but if yours evens out, that's totally fine, but if not, you just repeat the same process. Chain 3, yarn over twice. All right, and then on that very last stitch you're going to place a treble crochet there. Okay, and that's that for this. Okay, so that is it for this row. So we're just going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, turn our work. So this chain 4 is going to count as a stitch here. All right, so you want to chain 3 to cover for this 3. So if you want, you can place a stitch marker here so you can always know the beginning of your next row. Okay, so this is our first stitch here. Okay, then you want to chain 3. Once you've chained 3, the next thing to do is for you to yarn over twice, and then on top of this treble crochet here, you're going to place a treble here. Okay, so you can see you yarn over twice again. On the next treble you place a treble there. So that's that for that. You chain 3 again, representing these 3 chains, and then yarn over twice. On this you place a treble again, yarn over twice, and then on this you're going to place another treble crochet. So the repetition here is just chain 3 on each of the treble crochet. You're going to place a treble crochet like that. Chain 3 on the treble, you place a treble crochet. So that's just the repetition, and then you're just going to keep repeating this until you get to the end of this row. So you can see this is what it's looking at like so far. So you just keep repeating this until you get to the end of this row. So there's something again I also want to note. If this shrug is just going to be just a normal size, it's not going to be, if you want it to be really loose on you, you have to actually make it a little bit bigger. Maybe instead of adding 3 inches, you can add 6 inches. Okay, so that is that for that. So we're just going to keep repeating this until we get to the end of this row, and I'll meet you there. Okay, so I'm almost at the end of this row, which is the second row. So I'm just going to finish this up. Chain 3, yarn over twice, insert it in this very first treble here. Okay, and make your treble, and then you're going to yarn over twice, and this chain stitch that will count it as our first stitch. Okay, you're going to insert your hook on the very first top chain there, and then make your treble stitch. So that is it for this row. This is what it looks like. So at this point you can take your measurement again to be sure that you have the correct measurements for your outfit. All right, so I measured mine, and without stretching I have about almost 15 inches. Okay, without stretch. So but you can see that when I stretch this, it stretches up to 18. So that is what you want. The stretching should be up to 18 inches, or the inches that you actually need for your work. Okay, so that's that. So now you're going to continue making for the third row. So to do that, what you have to do is just to chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, like we did when starting in the other side. Okay, so once you chain your 4, remember you place your stitch marker on that very 4th stitch there, so that you can always remember when you come back, so you don't have to just count. So on that very 4th chain stitch, you place your stitch marker, and then you're going to chain 3. Okay, no, this is going to count as a chain stitch. This chain stitch is going to count as our first stitch. So we are going to yarn over twice and make for this second treble crochet. Okay, so that's that for that, and then you're going to chain 3, yarn over twice. On the treble crochet here, you're going to place a treble. So we're just basically repeating what we did on the previous row on this row. Okay, so this is it. You're just going to keep repeating these all the way until we get to this part. So I'm just going to teach you how to make this part and for you to done. So I'm going to meet you at the end. Okay, so I'm at the end of this third row. Okay, so we're just going to chain 3, which is going to represent this chain 3, and then we're going to place our treble crochet on this place where our stitch marker is. 1, 2, 3, chain 3, yarn over twice, and then on that place where your stitch marker is, you insert your hook. Okay, then you can take off the stitch marker, and then you're going to pull through and then make your treble crochet. So that is how you finish that end. Okay, so as you can see, so once you've done that, you want to chain 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and once you've done that, you want to mark that 4th stitch just like we did earlier, and then you chain 3, flip your work, and then you place a treble on this treble crochet stitch, and then we're just basically repeating what we did for the previous rows. Okay, so that is how to work your end. So you can see our end is straight and nice. So when you get to this other end as well, when you keep repeating and then you get to this other end as well, you want to also place your treble on this very chain here where your stitch marker is. Okay, so you just keep repeating this. So now we are going to keep repeating this row after row until we have about 7 inches in length. Okay, you can make it 6 as well, but you can make it 6 inches, but for this I want it to be a little bit down. Okay, so I'm going to be making 7 inches. Alright, so at this point I have about 6 inches. I later changed my mind because 7 inches was going to be too long, so I made 6 inches, which was about 9 rows. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, about 9 rows. So for you to measure this, you have to fold your work like this and stretch. So once you stretch, you open it back up. Okay, and then you take your tape and then you measure to make sure that it is the length you want it to be. You can make it shorter, you can make it longer, it's all up to you. So you can see this is about 6 inches. Okay, that is the exact size I want it to be. So once you're done, you just cut off your yarn. Okay, you fasten off, just chain 1, pull up a loop, and then cut off the excess yarn. Okay, and then pull. So that is it for this panel. So you're going to make the same exact thing for the second panel. Okay, so you're going to, so that you don't have one bigger than the other or one longer than the other, you want to count the stitches where you started your foundation stitch, your foundation chain. You want to count it to know how many it is. So that is going to be the number of chains you're going to chain for the second one you're about to start. Okay, so mine was about 89 or so. Okay, so here, this is the second panel I already made of the camera. This is the second panel, so this is going to be like the back part of the work. Okay, so you're going to align it, let them match with each other. Okay, so you can see this part I have, okay, this part align it like this, and then this one too we also align. Okay, so that is it. Once you have your second panel with it like this now, so what we want to do now is we're going to stitch for the shoulder parts, leaving the neck hole open. Okay, we'll stitch it like this, then we'll leave the neck hole open. So we are going to measure, lay it out flat, no stretching. Then you're going to measure from here to where you have 3 inches. Okay, so you can see this is where I have 3 inches from this edge to this edge. So I'm just going to place a stitch marker right here. Okay, so here I have my 3 inches. So you're going to repeat the same thing for this other part of the work. You also want to measure 3 inches. Okay, so this is my 3 inches for this part of the work. This is it, 3 inches here as well. So you also take your stitch marker and make sure you mark that place. Okay, and then we're going to thread our needle, and then we'll start joining for the shoulder. So this is going to be our neck hole. Okay, so to start joining for the armhole, you're going to thread your needle, your yarn needle, like so. Okay, one end is going to be shorter than the other, and the other one is going to be the longer end. Okay, so this is where we're going to be joining all the way from here to this edge. So you take off that stitch marker there, and then okay, this is where we marked it. So we are going to pick this yarn, this top stitch here, that chain stitch, and we'll also pick the corresponding chain stitch on the other side of our work. Okay, so you pass your needle through, and then leaving a small tail where you will tie your knot to secure that end. Okay, so once you've secured that end, you take your needle and keep joining. So you want to join each chain to the corresponding chains on both sides, like so. So you just pick a chain from here, pick the other side of the chain, just pick one loop on both sides and pass your needle through, like so. And then repeat the same thing on the next chain. You pick the chain here and pick one loop from the other chain behind and pass your needle through. So you're just going to keep doing this on each stitch. On the next stitch here, which is our treble, you pick the chain here, pick the next chain here, okay, and pass your loop all the way through. You can make your yarn shorter so you don't have to drag too much. Okay, so you're just going to keep repeating this step by step, one stitch after the other, until you join all the way to this end. Okay, so I'm just going to thread the last stitch on this part of the joining, which is the shoulder part. Okay, so I'm just going to leave a little loop. So you pass your needle through that loop, okay, and then you make a knot that forms a knot, and then you're going to cut off the excess yarn, leave a tail. Okay, and then you also want to tie that tail and secure it tight to secure that end. Okay, so that's that. As you can see, we have joined this part to this part of our work. So this is going to be the wrong side, so we're just going to repeat the same thing on this end. Attach your yarn. Okay, you just flip your work over, attach your yarn to this place just like we did for the other side, and then stitch it all the way to this end. So after joining the shoulder parts, like this is the first side, this is the second side of the shoulder, we are done joining, and then this is the neck hole. Okay, so once you're done doing that, this is what our work should look like when you lay it flat. This is for the shoulder, this is the neck, and the other part of the shoulder. So once we are done with this now, you just have to turn it to the right side. Make sure the wrong sides are facing each other, and then the right side. This is what the shoulder part of the right side should look like. Okay, as you can see, this is the wrong side. Let me show you. This is the wrong side. This is where we sew it, and then this is the right side. So you make sure it is facing the right side, like so, on both sides, and then we're going to start making the sleeves. Okay, and to start making the sleeves, you want to attach your yarn to this edge. You know this part now, this part of our work. Okay, you want to attach your yarn to this edge. Put your needle through the base of this stitch here. Okay, put your other hook through the base of the other stitch there, and then attach your yarn there to secure both ends together. So I'm going to attach a yarn here, knot it. So once you are done attaching your yarn, so you want to flip your work to how you're working with it, and then we're going to make single crochet. Okay, once you've attached those two, and this is what it should look like. This is the armhole. Okay, and then the next thing you would want to do is to start making single crochet on each of these stitch across. Okay, so since we are working with a double crochet, so I'm just going to insert my hook here and make a chain so that I can have what to work with. So now on each of these stitches, we are going to be placing 4 single crochet, and then another 4 single crochet, 4 single crochet, so like that. So you insert your hook. Make sure you know this is the part where we have 2 stitches on the edge, so you insert your hook under both stitch. Okay, insert your hook under, yarn over, pull through, and make a single crochet. You want to place a stitch marker there so you know where your first single crochet is, and then insert your hook again, make another single crochet, that's 2. Insert again, make another single crochet, that's 3. Insert and make the final single crochet, which is 4. So you have single crochet on each treble stitch. So now you now move to the second part of the work. You insert your hook, make sure you're putting it below the 2 stitches into the chain space. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So now we have 4 single crochet on this treble down. So on this next treble we'll place 4 single crochet into this hole like so. So you just keep repeating this all the way around. Okay, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So you just keep repeating this all the way around like so until we get to where our stitch marker is. Okay, so I just finished making for one part of the armhole. Okay, and I'm currently at where the shoulder joint is, as you can see. Okay, so you want to place a single crochet on that shoulder joint. Okay, and as you're doing so, remember the tail that we have there, we're going to be weaving it in as well. So we're going to be crocheting on top of it, so that way we are going to hide in our ends. So for this next place now, we're still going to repeat the same thing, 4 single crochet. The only difference is that this our yarn, we're going to be crocheting on top of this our tail as we go, so that we'll be able to hide in that tail. So 1, 2, 3 and then 4. So you can see we are taking the yarn along with us, so that way we can hide it in. So you just keep placing 4 single crochet on each all the way around. Okay, so as you can see, I've worked all the way around and I'm close to where our stitch marker is. So all you have to do is just to slip stitch to that very first single crochet. So you take off the stitch marker and then you slip stitch to join that round. Okay, so that's it for the armhole. So you want to turn your work. Okay, turn your work and chain 3, 1, 2, 3. So this chain 4 instead, because we are working with a treble crochet. So once you chain 4, this chain 4 is going to count as your first treble crochet for this round, just like we did when we were working the body. So you mark it out as well, chain 3, which is the chain 3 space in between, and then you're going to count 1, 2, 3, and on this 4th stitch here you're going to place 2 treble crochet here. Okay, yarn over twice and then you insert your hook in that 4th single crochet stitch there and make your treble. Once you've done that, you yarn over twice again in that very same stitch, make another treble. Okay, so that's that. You repeat the same thing, chain 3, yarn over twice, count 1, 2, 3. On the 4th single crochet here you place a treble crochet, and then on the next you yarn over twice again and still place a treble crochet in that very same stitch space. Okay, so that's that for that. So you're just going to keep repeating this all the way around until we get to the end. Okay, so as we are working all the way around to this part, when you get to the part where the shoulder joint is, this is the part where the shoulder joint is. Okay, you notice that the 4th stitch, 1, 2, 3 and 4 is not directly on top like the way these other ones are, because of that stitch we placed in between the shoulder joint. So all you have to do is to place your treble 1, 2, 3, 4 on that 4th stitch as usual. You place your treble on that 4th stitch as usual. Then the next treble, instead of on the same stitch, you're going to place it on the next stitch, which is directly on top of the stitch right here. Okay, the stitch where the shoulder joint is, so that way it is going to align like the others. So the next thing you just do, you continue like you've been doing, chain 3, yarn over twice, skip 3 stitches on the 4th stitch, place 2 treble crochet in the very same stitch space, and that's all there is. And then you just keep doing that until you get to the end. Okay, so once you're done placing your treble crochets all the way across, okay, you can see we're close to the end of this round. So all you have to do, you make the last chain 3, okay, yarn over twice, and then on that very stitch where we started, where we'll make our chain 4, which counted as the first treble crochet, you're going to place another treble crochet there to complete it too, like the rest of the treble crochets. Okay, so once you've done that, you want to slip stitch to that place where your stitch marker is, and that completes that round. Okay, you slip stitch and take off your stitch marker. Okay, so you can see that is all for this round. So we're just going to keep repeating the same thing. The only difference is that when you get to this part where you have your 2 treble, instead of placing 2 in 1, you place 1 treble on each of the treble stitch. Okay, and always remember, you start with a chain 3, start with a chain 4, chain another 3, and then continue all the way around like so. So you just turn your work, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, attach your stitch marker to that very 4th chain and then chain another 3. After you did chain 3, you're going to yarn over twice and place a treble crochet on this very first treble crochet stitch here, yarn over twice and place another treble on the next treble crochet here. So that's that for that. So you just keep repeating chain 3, just like we did for the body of the work, all the way around. So you just keep repeating that all the way around. When you get to the end, you chain 3 and then you place a treble in this very stitch space here, and then you slip stitch to join the second round. So you're just going to keep making this row after row until we have the length that we need for this shrug. So we're going to be making about 24 inches in length. So I'll meet you when we have about 24 inches. Okay, so now I'm at the end of this. I've done the sleeve, I've done it up to the 24 inches length that I need. Remember, you can always make the sleeve as short or as long as you want. Okay, so this is mine. This is where the sleeve ended and all the way to where I started the sleeve. So this is, so you're just gonna do the same thing on the other side of the armhole. Okay, the same thing we did for this side, you just repeat the same thing over on this other side of the sleeves. Okay, and you're going to have a very looking like a scarf actually, but you know, that's what the shrug is going to be looking like. So this is the opening, this is the neck hole, and then for this neck hole you can also, you know, we did 3 inches, you can also make it maybe a little bit 4 inches if you want on both sides, if you want the neck hole to be smaller. And that is that for this shrug. Okay, so that's going to be the end of this tutorial. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and turn on the notification bell so that you'll be the first to always get each videos I'm going to be making. See you in my next video. Bye bye.